Okay people, as some of you know, the famed researcher Sir Tim Hunt has recently come under fire for perceived sexist comments that he said at a talk in Seoul, which was actually about women in science. During the speech he got up and told, in his own words, a jocular and ironic joke in which he says, "Let me tell you about my trouble with girls. 3 things happen when they're in the lab. You fall in love with them, they fall in love with you, and when you criticise them, they cry." And he got a polite applause, and nobody accused him of sexism in the building, and that was that. It was only later that, when he went to the airport, that he had an inkling of a storm that was brewing over on the internet, as word spreads rapidly. Now, why is it that in the room nobody called him a sexist, everyone politely clapped and laughed and thought it was funny? It's because of this. Context, spoken context, cannot be transferred into writing, especially on the internet. Now, do I think that what he said was wrong or stupid? Well, it's definitely stupid, but was it wrong? No, I don't think it was wrong, especially in the context that he said it in. This is important, context. Now, in our society, saying something like that is tantamount to career suicide, as he has found out. But bear in mind that this is a man who was born in the 1940s, came of age in the 1960s, and went to school in an all-boys school. It's hard for him to imagine that something like this could cause such offence. He didn't mean anything by it. I mean, this man has an impeccable record, not only in science. I mean, the man's a Nobel winner for, I think it's molecular, something to do with how cells divide, isn't it, on the molecular level. And he's well known for helping women in STEM to achieve what they want to achieve. So how is it that in the space of a day this man has lost his position at UCL and is now the most misogynistic man on the planet? It's because of context. The people who had read the comments on Twitter and in the media and everywhere else read it as if he was mocking women and that he was being, the alpha male jock misogynist that they've all got in their heads, that is the enemy, the patriarchy. When not really, that's not the context. I mean, since then other people have come out and he's said that he was hung out to dry, which is what has happened. So I feel this is yet another high profile case of what happens when you incite the Twitter social justice hate mob. You know that mob, the ones who, when they found a post by a certain feminist complaining about a certain dongle joke, a man lost his job. These are the same people. This is the same people who will pressure a organisation, a employer, to sack someone based on a joke. It doesn't really matter if they're misogynists or not. If they've made a joke that they're offended by, they've got to go. Because we live in a world where this can't happen. We can't joke about these things. I find it really scary that these people can be just removed like that. He didn't even have a chance to explain his part of the story. UCL simply said he has to resign. Now, this says more about UCL than it does about science. The Guardian describes science that it can be equally as cruel as politics, but that's not saying anything about science. That's saying more about what that they are. It doesn't say that it's a cruel world. What it's basically saying is that science is easily pressured by outside forces into basically leaving someone out to dry because they don't want their reputation, as in the organisation's reputation, to suffer. Instead, they'll let that one person take the flak. And that's wrong. But this has happened time and time and again, and the only organisation, Protein World, have stood up to it, and they beat the social justice powers that be. They absolutely destroyed the Twitter mobs just by not apologising. And this will not be enough. He is apologising. People have come out to defend him, but it's not enough because these people are never appeased. And it's a shame. I worry for the future. I worry that people now have to be incredibly self-aware of what they're saying. Doesn't matter what age you are, doesn't matter what context you said it or how you wrote it. People are always going to take the opposite. It's a case of people trying to find offence. These are people who are, like I said, they hunch over their keyboards and they wait for the opportune moment to take offence and to take to Twitter and to hang whoever it is that said or wrote the comment. This is basically McCarthyism for the left wingers, and as a left winger myself, I am embarrassed. I am appalled by the treatment that Tim Hunt has had. He probably shouldn't have said what he said, but you know, we all make silly jokes that bomb all the time. That doesn't mean that we have to be fired from our jobs. That doesn't mean we have to be hunted down by crazed Twitter mobs. That's not on. Until next time, people, this has been Charming Man 93. Like and share the video, drop a comment, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you later.